Here we go for the end of Chapter 1. I want to apologize about how quick that last clip just kind of ended. I really wasn't paying attention to the time. Anyways, this is the first boss. I'm going to heal up here before we jump in. You see that I'm the same level as Tristam, so I'm going to be well prepared for this. The giant skeleton talks, of course. So he says, we won't beat him, we know otherwise, right? Flamerous Rex is his name. I can't possibly imagine a worse attempt at a name for any enemy in a game. That just, I'm not going to comment on it. You'll notice I had to use a seed. This was poor planning on my part. I was completely out of magic. I hadn't even used any, but I hadn't healed myself since I gained all these levels either. So, first turn, healed my magic up. But in using Quake, you see how good it was. It took about 250, 260, somewhere around there off. That's going to be your best attack, really. 286 there. Now, I'll try a couple of other attacks just to compare it to here in a second. It's really an easy battle. There really isn't any hard battles in this entire game. Maybe one or two battles that could be a little tricky. But it's a very simplistic game, especially if you're used to RPGs. I like that little boomerang attack there. Kind of chintzy, but kind of cool at the same time, right? And again, we're going to see tons of examples throughout this walkthrough of just how easy it is because of that life spell. I mean, it's just next to impossible for you to ever die unless you just get hit once or twice, like an instant death move or something like that. And so, you know, there's a prime example. Everybody's at full health again. It's funny with all this earth shaking that's going on down here. I mean, we're underground. I guess it's a break from reality, but the ceiling should be crushing all of us 100 times over at this point. And there it goes again. But that's all to the battle. So he just kind of disappears. And then the crystal just appears. Where was the crystal to begin with while all of this was going on? I don't understand. Was he hiding the crystal? Was it hiding? Because it was common knowledge this is where the crystal resides. I mean, the woman in town knew that, so just where was the crystal, I guess. Maybe I'm thinking too much into it. And we continue with the jerkery of Tristam. Oh, forget the crystal, forget the world. Look, I got this cool claw. Oh, by the way, here's the thing that'll cure your friend who's on the brink of dying. Yeah, he's just a true jerk. And really a lot of the characters in this game are, you'll find out. The sand coin is actually a key for one of those 4 locked doors in the focus tower. Why it's a coin, I have absolutely no idea. It's kind of bizarre if you ask me. But as we leave, Tristam wanders off in the party. I've got to go, see you around. Here's my question. Where is he going? There's one way in and one way out of this dungeon. We're going the same way. I guess he's just sick of hanging around me. That's the only explanation, right? So, I mean, that just capitulates the fact that he's a jerk. So we're going to skip ahead past the bone dungeon. We saw it on the way in. No monsters on the way out. We cleared the path. So we're heading back to Forestra again to get the elixir to Kyrie. And so let's go. What in the world? Hold on a second. Why? What in the... Look, I'm a little girl again. Was that old woman who said that I'm really a child? She was serious? That was the old woman that told me the bone dungeon, and this guy... Thanks for saving us in the trees? What happened here? What? And the game doesn't explain this. What kind of physics are involved here? These people really were old because of something that happened to the crystal. I'm at a loss for words as to... They don't even try to explain this. The crystal being under monster control turned everyone to old people? Except for Kylie and her mom, of course. They're the same age. So they weren't affected, but everyone else in town was. So that just didn't make any sense. And here Benjamin's like, oh, why don't I go to Aquaria first and look around for you? Forget the crystals. Apparently no one has any agenda in this game whatsoever. The second that anyone says anything to Benjamin, he's like, well, let me do this for you. I mean, I guess there's not a clock on the screen, but, I mean, I was given a pretty important prophecy, thing to do. So, it's a game. I know I'm getting way into this, but, you can't help but. The more you think about stuff like this, it just gets crazy. A little flicker there. Still problems with the... Here's another thing. There's the old guy again. How do you get to him? This little passageway. Why? Why have this thing? Obviously he's over there. Obviously you got to go over there. So why even have that passage? Is that a puzzle? Because that's a pretty pathetic puzzle, These conversations are just ridiculous. The dialogue being a 1, like I mentioned, these are prime examples. I mean, you have to agree with me. It's the most useless dialogue from a main character. And so you use the coin on the door to open it there. I guess it's like an arcade machine or something, coin operated. Here's another stupid puzzle. This is the way out, going up. If you go down instead of up, you get a spell. I mean, these are the types of puzzles to get the big things like weapons and spells. Instead of going the obvious way, you just go left instead of right, or down instead of up. I mean, it's cool, fire, and we're going to an Iceland. That's the next place, so it's going to come in handy. It's just, the game treats you like a dummy. But anyways, that will be the end of Chapter 1. We're heading to Aquaria now, and that will get the next leg of our quest. Chapter 2 will begin here at the Liber Temple.